Meron tayong kasabihan, aanhin pa ang damo kung patay na ang kabayo. Hihintayin pa ba natin na mawala ang ating mga lolo't lola bago mapadama sa kanila ang ating pagmamahal at pagpapahalaga? Thus, to assist our senior citizens as they approach their late years, this bill seeks to distribute the 100,000 cash gift much earlier and in 3 tranches when they reach the ages of 80, of 90, and of 100. The amounts necessary for the implementation of the law shall be included in the annual General Appropriations Act and will be upgraded by the National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA according to the average annual inflation in the preceding 3 years. Sa awa ng Diyos, mabibigyan na tayong lahat ng mas mahabang buhay. Sana'y hindi natin mararamdaman ang pagkabaliwala sa ating pagtanda. Bigyan nating saysay ang mabuting layunin ng batas habang buhay pa ang ating mga lolo't lola, habang may oras pa tayong lahat. I now ask for the support of my colleagues in passing the proposed amendments, for through this expansion, it is hoped that more of our elderly population may be able to benefit from the Centenarians Act and that they be inspired to further prolong and enjoy their lives even beyond a century. Thank you, Mr. President and honored colleagues.
With this, more senior citizens will benefit from a cash gift of 100,000 pesos, as it will be equally distributed in 3 tranches at ages 80, 90, and 100. This means that around 33,000 pesos will be given to beneficiaries for every 10 years.
I rise today, Mr. President, to co-sponsor one of the measures closest to my heart, the amendment to the Centenarian Law. It was in the same hall in 2020 when I first pushed and fought for this measure. However, the fight was momentarily halted because of the pandemic. Naantala man ang bahagya, alam nating darating ang tamang panahon para rito. And today is that day. So close to my heart, I filed Senate Bill number 21 as my topmost priority measure this Congress. Hindi napagod, hindi natinag, because of our dear senior citizens deserve no less. Kaya nga nagpapasalamat tayo sa ating chairperson, Senator Amy Marcos, na talaga namang hinanapan at ginawa ng paraan upang maisakatuparan ang mga adhikain ng panukalang ito. Hinihimok, hinihikayat ko kayong lahat na bigyan suporta ang ating mga mahal na senior citizens. Let us recognize and value the role that our elders play in our society. An African proverb says that those who respect the elderly pave their own road toward success. Pero tayong mga Pinoy, normal na sa ating kultura ang paggalang, pagpapahalaga sa mga nakatatanda. Hindi ito bago sa ating pamumuhay. Lahat tayo ay ipinanganak at lumaki sa aral na ang mga nakatatanda ay ginagalang, nirerespeto, pinagpapahalagahan. This legislative measure is a testimony to that special Filipino culture. We acknowledge the very laudable intent of the Centenarian Law, and with this proposal under consideration, we just wish to provide in advance the benefits afforded by the law. There are accounts that Centenarian Law beneficiaries are too old to enjoy the cash gift they receive. Meron pang salalay na hindi na naintindihan ng ating mga lolo at lola kung ano man ang natatanggap nila. Panukala lang natin na ma-advance lang sana ng mga nakatatanda upang kahit papano ay ma-enjoy pa nila ito. Habang sinusuportahan natin ang panukalang ito, kalakip nito ang dalangin matamasan nila ito sa lalong madaling panahon at maihatid natin ang tulong at kalingang damandama sa ating mga senior citizens. In view of all this, Mr. President, this representation, together with our very able sponsor, Senator Amy Marcos, appeal to this body to overwhelmingly support this measure. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Senator Revilla. Next to co-sponsor the measure is the distinguished gentleman from the city of Valenzuela, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
Senator Sherwin Gatchalian is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I rise today to co-sponsor Senate Bill number 2028 under Committee Report number 61, otherwise known as an act expanding the coverage of the Centenarians Act of 2016. The cultural value of family and respect for the elderly is deeply ingrained in our Filipino culture. It is common for us to have multi-generational households where grandparents live with their children and grandchildren. We always make sure that our lolos and lolas are well cared for and that they never feel abandoned or neglected. Even in our local communities, we all know that it is too heartbreaking to see elderly people surviving on the streets. That's why in Valenzuela, for example, we established Bahay Kanlungan to serve as a home for abandoned senior citizens residents. In fact, with our intent to replicate this initiative nationwide, this representation filed Senate Bill number 950, known as Homes for the Abandoned Senior Citizens Act of 2022, which seeks to provide a framework for other local government units to address the plight of a more vulnerable sector of senior citizens. As we push for such transformative steps for our senior citizens, there is no denying that we wish our aging loved ones could stay with us forever. Unfortunately, as much as we want to, living to reach 80, 90, or even 100 years is quite rare in our country. According to the latest data of the World Bank, the average life expectancy at birth in the Philippines is 72 years. Given this context, not many Filipinos live up to enjoy the benefits of Republic Act number 10868 or the Centenarians Act of 2016. This also means that only a few centenarian Filipinos enjoy the fruits of this act, including the 100,000 peso cash gift as well as the letter of felicitation. According to the 2020 data released by UK-based care home marketplace Loti, only 2 in every 100,000 Filipinos are centenarians. Sa madaling salita, kaunting senior citizens lamang ang kinikilalang benepisyaryo ng ipinasang Centenarians Act of 2016. With this reality, Mr. President, I stand today to co-sponsor this measure that seeks to broaden the coverage of the Centenarians Act of 2016. Through this measure, we can further celebrate the contributions of our beloved senior citizens to nation building by providing more beneficiaries with the necessary support and recognition they deserve. Once the passage of this bill becomes a reality, our Filipino octogenarians and nonogenarians will also reap the rewards of the Centenarians Act. With this, more senior citizens will benefit from a cash gift of 100,000 pesos, as it will be equally distributed in 3 tranches at ages 80, 90, and 100. This means that around 33,000 pesos will be given to beneficiaries for every 10 years, while also allowing inflationary adjustment of the amounts that they will receive. Mr. President, the passage of this measure will surely motivate our senior citizens to live longer. The 100,000 pesos cash gift that will be equally distributed in 3 tranches will support them as they pay their living expenses, medicines, healthcare costs, and other necessities as they reach the milestone of 80, 90, and 100. Sa totoo lang, ang simpleng paggamit ng senior citizens discount, tuwang-tuwa na ang ating mga lolo at lola. Sa pagpasa ng panukalang ito, paniguradong mas lalong gaganda ang kanilang mga ngiti dahil tiyak na malaking tulong ito lalong-lalo na sa mga may iniindang karamdaman dahil makakatulong ito sa pambili ng kanilang gamot. Noong panahon ng aking panunungkulan sa Valenzuela, naging saksi mismo ako kung gaano ito napasaya ang mga Valenzuelanong centenarians dahil